letters that have 3 dots underneath. I tell you that because they're very important. Because you may see some material that you think is Arabic. And if you look through it and see that it has 3 dots underneath it, you can feel relaxed. Oh no, this is not Arabic. All right. I can't think of the name of it. The Turkish language. I can't think of the name of the language right now. But they have letters that have 3 dots underneath. Okay. And the Pakistanis, whatever the language is, it's in my head. I know, Urdu. But it takes Urdu. Yes, it just won't come up sometimes. Urdu has 3 dots underneath. Okay. Because I had some students once. You remember when the little boy, you were sitting in my room, Sister Sharif, when the little boys across the street saw the sign out there and they came in, and so then they brought me some material over one day, and you weren't there that day, but you were there that day when they were out there playing with the sign, and I thought they were about to knock it over, and then the mother came in and asked me would I teach. Sister Sharif was right there when it happened. They were living right across the street from me, but they brought me some material over, and it was Urdu. And so I looked at it, and when I saw the 3, they wanted me to. I guess they assumed because they float between the two. They mix it up, So anyway, when I looked at it, I said, "This is not Arabic. This is Urdu." "Oh, you know Urdu too?" I said, "No, I don't know it, but I see these 3 dots." Yes. Okay. So, but you will, when you're dealing with Muslims, because Urdu is spoken by Muslims also, then you're subject to see material that you might think that is Arabic, and if you just glance over it, because the letters will be looking the same. Well, don't the letters in Spanish look the same as the letters in English? But as soon as you start looking at something, I don't know this word. What is this? So that's the difference. All right. So here, the 3 dots will help you there, because more than likely, if it's any length at all, you're gonna see one letter that has 3 dots underneath it. That way you know that it's not Arabic, and you can sound very scholarly, like you really know what you're doing. That's right. All right. So here we are. We did this one, right? Now this one tells us to put our tongue through our teeth. Okay. So we'll do it 3 times. And again, the same thing holds true. As if you have a question about it, it's not clear, then you can ask me. Okay. So this one, we put our tongue through our teeth, and we let it explode right out the front of the mouth. So we say, that. 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 All right. Everybody's all right? All right, now we go to this level. We have 3 of these. This would all look exactly alike if my penmanship was perfectly reproduced. But we have a dot under one, no dot on this one, and a dot over this one. And where the dot is, or lacking a dot, makes a difference in what letter it is. So this is ja. 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 And this one, we let some air out with it, and we say, ha, ha, ha. Now we're going to have another letter that's something like that, so we'll explain that to you as we get through it, all right? And then, ka, 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 ka. All right? I'm not going to expound on the letters that have letters that sound like them right now. We'll do that a little bit later, okay? And then we have these 2 letters that look alike, except for the dot, but their positions are not at all similar. Okay, so we have da, 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 and then that. No question on that? You should have, so I'll ask you for it.
Would it be that because of the dot?
No, I'll get ready to explain what the difference is. Okay. Remember I said the tongue but through the teeth. Now listen.
Yeah.
I said the tongue through the teeth here. The tongue goes through the teeth here also. But this one, remember I said that this one explodes straight out the front. That. Now listen to this. Listen to me first. Don't pronounce after me. Just listen to me on this, right? That. Then that. 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 What we're doing here is we're letting air out with it. Here we just let it explode. That. Here we let air out with it. That. All right. So that, and we're going to expound on those similar letters in more detail when we get through. We just want to make sure we get through with it, because next month we're going to start on meaning, on understanding, how to understand. We're dealing with how words are developed. So we're going to start with that familiar word that those of you who've had Arabic classes know, called fa'ala. And the word, from the word fa'ala we get fi'lun. Fi'lun means a verb. Fi'lun is a verb, and fa'ala means to perform. Okay. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with next month. So I want to go on and get through with this today, okay? All right, then we have Ra. 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 Za. 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 Sa. 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 Sha. 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 Saw. 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 Daw. 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 Taw. 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 Thaw. 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 I. Ga. 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 Fa. 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 Call. Call all the way in the throat. Call. 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 You go as deep in the throat as you can. That's called a guttural letter. Call. All right. Call. Okay. Then we have cat. 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 La. 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 Ma. 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 Na. 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 And this is soft. This is ha. This is ha. Ha. See how we're up here with ha. 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 Okay. And by the way, it makes a difference. You can't tell what difference does it make? It'd be a whole different. If you say Mohammed, you're spelling it with this letter. It should be Mohammed. Not Muhammad. And my brother, my favorite brother, because he's the first one that accepted me as Muslim. And he always liked to introduce me because he's a lawyer. And this is my brother Agin Mohammed. Okay, and then wah, 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 yeah, yeah. I want you to notice this letter and this letter are also over here, same stroke. But here, when you put a vowel sign above or below, then it is no longer a vowel. As you see this blue up here, that's a sukoon. When it's no vowel on it, then it's a vowel letter. When it's a vowel sign above it or below it, then it becomes a consonant. Who remembers what a consonant is in our Agin Mohammed language? Consonant. The syllable con in every word in the Arabic language means, I'm sorry, in the English language, means with. With. All right. C-O-M also means with. You have community with unity. All right. That's what a community is. It's with unity. All right. Confused. All right. You with being mixed up. Fused is putting things together, right? If you're confused, you're mixed up. You're with a mixture. All right. So, and confident. You never heard of a confident man? You notice that it's hard to they don't say confident, they say confidence man. You know it's hard to prosecute a confidence man? Why? Because he gets with your fidelity. See, fidelity comes from the word fidel, which is fidelity, trust. He gets with your trust. He doesn't take anything from you. You give it to him. And that's what makes it so difficult. You got to see to be able to prove what his pattern was, show there was some deception or something. Because he doesn't take anything. You give it to him. Because he is he's with your confidence. So consonant, that's where we were. Consonant, sonant comes from the word sonar. Sonar means sound. You remember that old movie? Some of y'all are old enough to remember the old TV movie, A Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. And they had this, you had beep, 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 and they could send out sound from that radar, that sonar system, and it would go, the sound would go out, and it would come back. They knew something that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, that sound travels at the speed of 1,037 1/3 feet per second. Did I sound smart when I said that? All right. So they knew that. And so when that sound come back, the machine that they had there as a part of the sonar system, it would pick up that sound, and each sound is like a human being. It has its own fingerprint, its own identity. It would be able to recognize that sound, know when it went out, and when it came back, and by knowing how fast sound traveled, they would know how far it had gone. And by the strength that it came back with, that could tell them how large the item was that it hit. If it hit a big item, it'll come back stronger. If it hit a small item, it's not going to come back as strong. So they'll be able to tell whether it's a ship or it's a boat, or a submarine. They can tell what's out there. And so that word consonant means with sound. With sound. So the consonants do not represent sound, they go with sound. And that's what we presented here to you today, the consonant letters. They go with sound. They can go before the sound, or after the sound, or on both sides of the sound in a syllable. One syllable you may have where you have a consonant before you make the sound. That's what we have up here today. Another syllable you may have the vowel over here like this, and then the consonant will have a sukoon on it. That means you're going to stop the sound in that position. Then you may have a syllable where you have a consonant before the vowel, and the vowel coming after, and then another consonant with a sukoon on it at the end. That's a consonant with a syllable with two consonants in it, and that means that the sound is with. The consonant is with the sound both before and after. All right. Okay. So those are the four syllable types also. Because I didn't mention this. This is syllable type 1 here. You remember. And syllable type 1 are the vowels only. All right. And it's only 10 syllable type 1s in the whole language. Okay. But there are 270 syllable type 2, 250 syllable type 3, and I don't know how many syllable type 4, because you can mix that up. You can put the same consonant on both sides of the vowel, or you can mix it up and then you can turn it around and so forth. So we're waiting for the mathematician who can do this. A mathematician can do this because you do have a limited number of consonants, so you can only change them around so much. I just don't know. I don't have that expertise to do that. But if somebody tells me, I'll believe them until I can prove somebody else proves better. All right. So there are 270 syllable type 2, which is what we have. This is syllable type 2. There are 270 of these. Why? Because there are 10 sounds that could be where this sound is. We're using this sound here for this, so that gives us what? 27 sounds. All right? Because this is not a consonant here. This is just a vowel. This is really just the same as this. I just put it up here so you know we didn't get rid of the letter. But this and this is exactly the same. So we got 28 letters, but we have 27 consonants. 25 of those consonants are full-time consonants. They are consonants all the time. And then the last 2, these are consonants when the vowel comes after it, okay, above or below it. Okay, but when the vowel comes before it, then they are not consonants. They become vowels. All right. Is there any question on that? Because what I'm going to do now, if you got that, is I'm going to go through, and what we'll have to do, we just have to kind of mark them out. Because I usually present this on a chart, but I wanted you to see me do this. All right. And what we're going to do now is the letters, we're just going to go alphabetically. And when I get to a letter that I'm not going to repronounce, I'm just going to go down the line. And when I see a letter that has a mate, then I'm going to draw a line under it, and so that we'll find all of those. And then when we get through with that letter, then we will put an X to it so we know we've done it. So the first one that we have is this one. It has a mate, all right? So let me just put a line under it so we know that what we're doing here. And then the other one that's like it is here. This is